push to find more money for San Diego is on. Earlier this week, the San Diego City Council agreed that the city's voters should decide whether to build a new taxpayer-financed city hall. Ricky Young, watchdog editor for the San Diego Union Tribune, and Andrew Donohue from voiceofsandiego.org, he's the editor, are here to discuss the latest city developments. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about what City Attorney Jan Goldsmith had to say. He said that, talking about the brownout with the fire rescue department and the death of the young boy, that it's really up to the city council to change priorities. I'm going to start with you on this, Ricky. Do you expect the city council to be responsive, especially now that there seems to be sort of a public reaction to the death and the brownout?
Yeah, I think a sales tax increase would have been an absolute no-starter, even 4 days ago. But the death of the 2-year-old, the choking death with the fire department not getting there in time, I think has brought renewed impetus to do something. There were a couple council proposals this week just to undo the brownouts right away. But a longer-term solution might be to put a sales tax measure on the ballot, which would bring in about $100 million a year and really go a long way toward ending the structural deficit that the city has.
So here we're talking about putting it on the ballot, and that's part of what I was discussing with the city attorney. All these issues on the ballot, why did the council members decide to leave the decision to build a new city hall up to the voters? They didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to, but I think they were left with no other decision. It's not going to be a very popular decision just to sort of unilaterally do that. If you think about it, a lot of people are going to view it and criticize it as the city council building themselves some sort of luxurious new palace. But I think the mayor, in order to even make this proposal to the public at the start, had to say, don't worry, I'm not going to make the decision on this. This is going to be your decision. So he sort of painted himself in the corner at the start, and at the end, I think he really wished he could have just put it before city council, but having made that promise, it just wasn't possible.
Well, this would be a taxpayer finance project, would it not, Ricky?
Well, the idea is certainly tax money would be used, but they're saying that it will also save money. They'll save money on downtown office leases, they'll save money on maintenance, and that in the end, every year going out, they save enough money that they can spend the money on the city hall. That's the case they will try to make to voters.
But just explain it to me. Right now the city is looking at a deficit that could be up to $90 million, plus lots of unpopular cuts in services. So where would the money come from just to get started in the construction?
Well, each year they demonstrate some savings. One year they're going to not spend money putting in needed fire sprinklers at City Hall, this sort of thing. There's a lot of investment they would have to make to keep the current City Hall operational, and they say they can save that money. Also, the leases they pay for other downtown office space that they currently doesn't fit in City Hall, those would be up for renewal and might go up, although there's people who dispute that as well.
Andrew, will those numbers speak to a public that's really concerned about unemployment, because unemployment is up locally and consumer confidence level is down, anti-incumbent fever is out there, we heard about that. How risky is it to leave something like this up to the voters this year and hope that there will be revenue coming in?
Yeah, I think the voters are going to look at this, and it may actually be a good proposal. It may actually save the city money, but if you look at it in the context of the city also trying to build a new library, also talking about a convention center, also talking about a Charger Stadium, I don't know how they can see all that and not think that City Hall is on some sort of building binge at the same time that they're seeing services in their own neighborhoods start to deteriorate.
So let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about another idea that's being floated around City Hall. You alluded to it, the idea of raising a city sales tax by half a cent. The mayor doesn't support an increase in the city sales tax. And last week it looked as though it was dead. And now there's some life to the proposal. What's going to happen here?
Well, we'll know next week because there's a deadline of August 6th to get on the ballot for November. The council's getting ready to go to its August recess. So time is running out. But the bottom line is there are a number of members of the council who have thought for some time the city needs more revenue to really solve its problems. And the fact that things have been cut to such an extent that this little boy died, may give them the impetus and the political courage to put this on the ballot and let the voters decide, do we want to plug the hole or do we want to let it just go on and on and on?
What's your reaction to that, Andrew? You haven't had a chance to say whether you think that this recent incident will push the sales tax increase to the ballot.
I think I very well could see it going to the ballot. I think the problem is that just standing by itself, with the city making so many other investments in big projects and construction, everything like that, I have a hard time seeing voters pass it. I don't think that San Diegans necessarily are against taxes as much as a lot of people say, but I think unless you put some sort of comprehensive package together that actually solves all the city problems at once, I don't know how people are going to view that.
Thank you very much, Andrew Donohue, Ricky Young.